I could take you to places you'd like to go, but outside of that, I know you is Fardo. It's a root of all evil, a statement of evil, but I'm certain, honey, that life will be certain. It's a root of all evil, a statement of evil. It's a root of all evil, a statement of evil. It's a root of all evil, a statement of evil. It's a root of all evil, a statement of
Check, check, mic check. 1, 2, 1, 2. Hold up. I forgot to plug in my mic. Hold up, y'all.
And I could take you to places you'd like to go, but outside of that, I know you is Fardo. It's a root of all evil, a statement of evil, but I'm certain, honey, that life will be certain. It's a root of all evil, a statement of evil. It's a root of all evil, a statement of evil. It's a root of all evil.
Check, check, mic check. 1, 2, 1, 2. Mic check. All right. I think we're back on. All right, check this out. This ain't gonna be very long. I don't even care if nobody even show up for this, but I gotta start putting this stuff on wax, bro. And as y'all know, I had previously had a channel that was going pretty good. It was growing pretty well. YouTube pulled some old whole hating moves, and they killed that momentum. But since then, I've been trying and thinking about getting my channel restarted. I've done a couple lives here and I've just been real inconsistent with it. And the part of the big problem with that is, like, man, like I told y'all previously, like I'm a principles guy, right? So I'm very strong on keeping your word, meaning what you say, integrity, honesty, all that kind of stuff. Like I'm not really. I was kind of raised by the last generation of old school parents. My parents aren't very old in comparison to my age. Like they're kind of young parents among my group of peers, but they were raised by like Southern old school families. So um, I was raised here in St. Louis, but make no mistake, Missouri is a southern state, bro. They got very southern socioeconomic kind of dynamics. But um, my pops, his um, mom was from the south. On my mom's side, her mom was from the south. So they both been, so a lot of them old school southern values. Okay, so I was raised kind of by that last round of parents that had that. So I'm not really compatible with this new generation, this new style of doing things, the kind of the internet generation. Like that's not, because I was just raised very differently, and just seeing how, bro, just seeing how incredibly stupid boxing is, just seeing how inept and how inconsistent and how disrespectful that business is run, the way that they just pull some of the most irrational moves known to mankind. Like if you're running any type of sport, and then the way that certain fighters openly just lie to your face, just bold face lie to you, and say it with their chest, and like really be meaning it and trying to drive a point home with complete and utter non-facts. And then you have media outlets that push it, and then you got these hordes and hordes of remedial fans, bro, that jump on these bandwagons because they have hatred for a particular other fighter that's trying to do it the right way, and they jump on these bandwagons and push these narratives for these clowns, and it's just one giant melting pot, one disgusting soup of idiots, just a stupidity soup of just lies and false narratives and so much meat stroking and just weirdos, bro. So I've been kind of in and out with boxing, kind of stepping away, stepping in, stepping away, and like I'll take some time away from it and not really check in with really what's going on too much. I don't even have social media like that anyway, so I'd be out the loop. Everything I find out about boxing, I find out from trusted sources on YouTube. Because boxing live on YouTube. They're gonna have to acknowledge that sooner or later. They're getting close to openly acknowledging it, but and I don't know, maybe they never will, but that's where it lives. So I get my boxing information from trusted sources on YouTube um, that keep up to date information going, that I know put out good, honest content with integrity. Like, I know the people that I follow, I know personally. Like, I talk to them, stuff like that. I believe in their work. I try to, support their channels and super chats and stuff like that. Like, the people that I really mess with, like, I really mess with because they have like minds. They have some sort of backbone. They got some sort of base, some sort of moral center that they're working from, if that makes sense. Like, I know that they have integrity, and I know that they have a functioning, logical mind with common sense. Like, I know that. The brothers is like real men. They solid. They stand for something. Um, the few queens that I follow is solid. They stand for something. They not, out here just trying to be popping off of foolishness. You know what I mean? They putting work into the content. They got something to say. So that's just the type of person that I am. Very, 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 very integrity based. So me and boxing just really haven't been compatible recently. Like, and the other thing is, the older I get, I've never really been the best with this. I've always had a quick temper. Now I've gotten a lot better with that as I get older. Like, when I was younger, I was a live wire, but I got a quick temper. And I don't have a lot of patience. Okay. So with the way boxing works, bro, like with my intense set of principles and my strong sense of integrity, my requirement of integrity for people that I deal with, because that's what I require of myself. And then my lack of patience and my temper, bro, like boxing just really ain't been for me recently. Like it make your blood pressure run too high. I can't do it. I can't handle it. I can't handle the stupidity. I can't handle it. And then I'll step away for a little while, and I'll jump back in to see if has anything changed. There been any improvements? Any changes, any updates? And 9 times out of 10, I hop back in, and it's it's the same. It's just the same cycle. So that being said, once I really learned about how boxing was, I've always been a combat sports fan, but I got into like MMA seriously and boxing seriously. Probably I was boxing even before MMA, but I would say I got into boxing seriously probably, I don't know. It was several years ago. It was during the Floyd era. That's when I really, really, really got into boxing. But I did see some Mike Tyson fights happen live. I remember sitting at my god brother's house. My parents and their parents, they ordered the Mike Tyson Evander Holyfield pay-per-views. I remember watching those live. Like, so I'm old enough to remember that. Now I was a kid, but I'm old enough to remember in detail. So you hear a lot of these people talking about the old days and Mike Tyson and this and the third. Like, I really got to watch Mike Tyson fight. Like, I was around for that phenomenon. So I don't be just talking out the side of my neck when I'm talking about boxing. Like, I've been watching it for a while, but seriously, like real seriously, since the Floyd era. Floyd, like so many others around my age, like Floyd is what really, really, really got me into boxing hard body. Like, his run was just incredible. And the Floyd phenomenon was crazy. It was crazy. It's also when I first really learned about how deep the racism runs in boxing. It's the worst kept secret in the boxing world, that like, even more than money, racism is really what governs boxing. And when the money is when the money is big enough, then the money will trump the racism. Okay, as in like the Floyd Pack situation, stuff like that. So I had to learn that the hard way. I learned that through experience. In understanding that, I just had to adjust my expectations, so to speak, and then I had to also grow into the wait. Why should I adjust my expectations? Because I know it's some BS going on. No, I'm gonna require them to do better. So I'm gonna understand what it is while still requiring them to do better. So that's kind of been my position. So with that in mind, there's another thing that goes in with this. Not to toot my own horn or whatever, but I might have to kind of pat myself on the back a little bit this episode because the Most High has blessed me with a rare level of perception and discernment when it comes to people, and I can read situations and people very very quickly, and because of that, I can see what's going coming from down the line. I'm not bragging, I'm not, because I definitely believe it's a gift from the Most High. It's not just gave myself, but it's like it's serious and it's accurate. Like I've been with my wife over a decade. She can tell you, and it took her a while to trust me. You know what I mean? Like because I would just get reads on people so fast. Like she would just be thinking, how in the world can he possibly know all of that or say they're going to do this or that down the line? You don't know this person. You just met him. You know what I mean? Like this, is my friend. She's nice. Blah blah blah. And I would just get reads on people. Like sometimes I wouldn't even meet him. She would just tell me a story about somebody that one of her friends she met through working or whatever, and I would just be like, man, I don't know, I wouldn't trust her, and I think she's gonna pull something like this down. Like very specific information about somebody I had never even met, don't even know. She told me one story, and she used to get mad because I would just sound like an extreme pessimist, but it would always happen. It would always happen. So even my wife learned to trust it too. Like she know, like I'll be spot on. So because of that, because boxing is such an easy book to read when you understand what governs it, like I started just being able to kind of see what was coming, and that kind of started to take some of the fun out of it. You know what I mean? Because I know what it really is. I know what the undertones are. I know what really governs it behind the scenes. And then I can see, for the most part, most of these dudes ain't really about to do anything about it. I can see what's coming down the line. I see what kind of moves you're gonna be trying to make. The real ones that come along that's trying to really take a stand for something and make some changes, they get so like vastly ridiculed and so viciously and violently attacked constantly by the media, by the fans, by the business. Like, it scares all the rest of them into, just going along with the plan. And that, I'm not just, I'm, financially as well. Like that's that business part of it, man. People don't understand how heavily that influences like the type of business move a boxer is making, the type of business moves a boxer is making, how heavily that governs how the business allows them to be perceived as well. If they not really trying to mess with the business of boxing and help it grow in that old archaic system that keeps the boxers on bottom and keeps the promoters and the networks and everybody making all the money, then the network's gonna get theirs, and that's fine. But them promoters and stuff, the managers, all them little hands in between, all them people that's used to scavenging off of all the hard work of the fighters. When fighters come along that mess up that paradigm and that dynamic, man, it's just open season on them. And people just don't understand it. They go along with the narratives, not understanding what's going on behind the scenes, allowing themselves to be controlled. So with that in mind, with that being said, I tried to stay real on my first run of the channel. I tried to stay real humble. You know what I mean? Like I ain't really talk my stuff too much. I just made my thoughts, spoke my pieces, but now with the hindsight of experience, with the advantage of the hindsight, hindsight and the experience game, I have a very different view on it. Now I'm like mad because it's like I put a lot of work into all that stuff I did before. I should have expected opposition because I was willing to talk about some touchy subjects, but I think I just didn't expect it to happen the way it did. Like YouTube just hit me up in like a day or two. Boom, 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 3 strikes out of nowhere. It didn't let me appeal them, nothing, didn't respond back to me. Boom, the channel was gone. And like I was mad at myself because I didn't think to like save all that work. You know what I mean? So I was mad at them for what they did, but I was more mad at me for not having the foresight to save that. So I'm like, okay. So I hate that I don't have the actual video, and that's what I'm saying, and that's man, I hate that, but that's okay. And that's the thumbnail of this video. And if you look at that thumbnail, I got the date highlighted for a reason, because that's the date that I created that meme you see right there. Okay, that was 7 months ago, y'all. When I created a video, if you look at the date, it's the day before my birthday when I made the thumbnail, and then I did the live stream the next day on my birthday. It was called, the episode was called, and the picture was called Peas in a Pod. It was a picture of peas, like vegetables. You just check the thumbnail for this video, it's still on there. And they had 3 peas in there, okay? It was Canelo Alvarez, it was Terrence Crawford, and it was Gervonta Davis. Now, at first brush, you just look at that and that don't really make too much sense. But I went in that episode, I was trying to explain what I meant by peas in a pot. This was 7 months ago, y'all, okay? Over half a year ago. I was saying, bruh, in reality, everybody goes ham on Canelo. We all give Canelo the business, as we should, about how he maneuvers his career. I was like, but people are missing that Terrence Crawford and Gervonta Davis, low-key, are doing the same thing, and it's kind of skating under the radar. Now, at that time, nobody viewed it that way. And you could tell even by the response on the video. I even had a homie call in to argue about that. He disagreed with it. And it was like, no, I don't think so. There was a lot of blame. There was a lot of blame towards Floyd back then for the way Tank's career was moving, okay? And rightfully so. Like that, Floyd was definitely doing some things as well. Openly threatening him with the Roma fight, and so that means he was complicit. He was very complicit. So Floyd did deserve some of the criticism, but as the time went along and Tank got older, I started being like, nah, man, we got to hold this dude accountable, because I started drawing the parallels between Bud re-signing with Top Rank after knowing that they ain't, after knowing the way it's going to be, how it's going to move, and after hearing the fans and knowing what we wanted to see from him in his career, and still re-signing with Top Rank over and over while complaining about them, Tank was doing the same thing. Every time his contract was about to be up, they run the same play on y'all, and the fans will fall for it every time. Oh, Tank and Floyd beefing. Oh, come look at this. Hey, everybody, come look at this. Yo, it's over with. It's over. And everybody will lose their minds. The internet will be on fire. Tank and Floyd talking, they beefing, they talk smack to each other. His contract up, he ain't re-signing. And every time he'll get y'all and re-sign right back with us. Floyd right there with his arm around him, Leonard sitting there cheesing at all the press conferences. It was the same old show. So I was like, listen, the dynamics are the same. They are using clout chasing of the fights that we really want to see while fighting a bunch of bums and getting praised more than the people who are trying to put in real work. It was the same dynamic, bro, okay? I'm trying not to get too caught up in that part because people are starting to see it now. But I wanted y'all to see the date, highlight that date, because a lot of good people, a lot of good content creators are now starting to draw these parallels. And I'm not talking smack about them at all, nothing like that. I want to be clear. I'm not taking shots at nobody's channel, nothing. That's definitely not what this is about. Because the people who are starting to draw those parallels now are phenomenal content creators, the people that I look up to and trust. I only watch certain folks. I really only watch the LDBC, a couple of TWT members, a couple of independent gunners, and that's it, man. That's it. Like I don't really. I just don't trust y'all. I don't trust y'all. I know what y'all about. I know y'all are for sale. I've seen people completely and utterly flip. I know they're offering money to people to flip on things. So I just don't trust none of y'all. I trust the people that openly take a stand on the issue. So clearly, the channels that I watch are 100. So I'm not taking no shots at them or anything. That's not what this is about. I want to be clear on that once again. What I'm doing is talking my ish. I'm patting my own stuff on the back because I drew these parallels and I saw this happening over half a year ago before my own sources of information were making these parallels. And maybe they were and just weren't saying anything publicly, but I was on this a minute ago, and I believe it's in that same episode. Y'all notice around the when the Bud and Arrow negotiations were falling apart, people started to, and then Espinoza, I think it was Espinoza or somebody, it was Fight Hype, I think, speaking on behalf of Showtime, something like that. I think it was the Fight Hype video. They came out and said flat out that one of the things that was taking so long is Al Heyman and Showtime wanted to thoroughly investigate and make sure there were no more ties with Bud and DK. Okay, so when that happened, then everybody started drawing questions to that alleged 20 mil guaranteed that Bud asked for from in the Spence contract, right? And it was like, yo, hold on, make the connection. We all knew he got that money from him for the Spence, for the Porter fight, and the funds got frozen and so on and so forth. So people started asking that question, bro. I think it was that same live, and if not, it was one before that. I asked that question months ago, bro. I was like, 20 mil, 20 mil. These two things are equal. I wonder if this 20 million man's guy from over here ain't really there no more because the feds got their hands and stuff, which is why he needs 20 mil over here. Now, whether that was the case or not, I don't know. I was just asking a question based on the information that was floating around at the time. Since then, I'm kind of thinking that he was just playing and he really didn't want to fight anyway. Kind of like I was saying Gervonta Davis was doing with Devin Haney. And now that some of this tap dancing and side shuffling and electric sliding that y'all seeing him doing these interviews and stuff, now that this stuff is getting so blatant, now people are like, man, I don't know, is this dude kind of? And I'm like, yes. And I was saying that 7 months ago. Peas in a pod. These are dudes that are building boxing fame and lucrative careers off of being attractions, off of fighting guaranteed wins and showing off and basically just being high level exhibitionists for the boxing fans, for the casual. And listen, I'm not hating on that part of it. Get your money, bro. Boxing is a brutal sport. It requires everything out of you, physically, mentally, emotionally. What they sacrifice for our entertainment, a price can't be put on it. There is no value that's good enough for the price of a life. You know what I mean? They literally risk their lives every time they go in there and they put their bodies on the line for our entertainment. So I'm never one for trying to cap what a fighter can make. And if you can make the most money taking the least risk, I'm not mad at that either. That's not my issue. I want that to be clear. I ain't hating on nobody's money. I ain't hating on them feeding their family. I ain't counting nobody's pockets. I'm a father of my own self. I got a wife and kids myself. So why would I hate on somebody getting paid, putting bread on the table for their people? That would be stupid of me. That's not the issue. The issue is the play. They're really just trying to feed their families and put the most money in their pocket with the least amount of risk. But they running around running game on the fans like they the best and they should be considered the best, and they're discounting the other people, their peers around them who are actually the best, who are showing it with their fighting, with their career moves, with their opponents, with the way they're moving. The fighters who are really trying to fight for legacy and prove they're the best and have proven it with the hard facts and data, with literally the amount of hardware I got versus the amount of hardware you got. The real fighters trying to be the best are they're saying that they shouldn't be regarded better than me because I make more money. Like what? And then they're doing all of that and not trying to fight the dudes. The ones like, okay, you can prove you are the best. Just fight them. Just fight them. Don't be out here on a money-making mission, but still conning the fans into the fighting and defending for you like you're trying to be the best when you know you're not trying to be. That's the sell. That's the con. They're selling you on the fact that they are on some legacy chase, that they're trying to be great, that they're trying to get the best fights. They want to be the best. They want to build their resume while they are clearly playing you and fighting nobodies and getting paid well for it. More power to them. But they're lying about their purpose and intent, what they're doing. They're stealing. They playing you. They hustling you. Stop falling for it. Stop falling for it. Just call it what it is. Whenever a boxer is honest with me, I respect it. Just tell me what it is. That's why I hate Jake Paul less than a lot of people. Look, he told us what it is. Okay, I'm not expecting him to fight no superstar level. What Jake Paul is a highly touted prospect, bro. Is Keyshawn Davis? He was just the other day. What was that? The few couple months ago, he was talking all that smack. Was talking about I'm only 6-0. I'm only 6-0. And he's a well-known. Now, of course, he's not on the level of Jake Paul. I'm just saying, like, he's a well-known, super popular prospect. He's a big name, among the hardcores, among the boxing world. He's very skilled. We want to see him fight against some of the top guys. But he just got here, so we're not expecting those fights already. And neither is Keyshawn Davis. And people were cool with that. Yeah, he only 6-0. He only 6-0. Why should he be fighting Devin Haney's or the Shakurs or the Tank? Yeah. Like, yeah, he just started. Okay. Well, Jake Paul just started. He just a prospect that showed up, and a lot of people knew his name. Keyshawn Davis in the Olympics. A lot of people knew his name. That was part of the reason his success catapulted the way it did. That's what Jake Paul is. I mean, he's a highly touted prospect. So, and he's telling us he's out here just trying to entertain and do spectacles, make big pay-per-views and make money. Like, hey, listen, I ain't see Keyshawn fight no Anderson Silva in his first 3-4 fights. I didn't see it. And I'm not picking on Keyshawn. I'm just saying, as far as like the prospect thing. So, look, just tell me what it is. Just don't sit there and just bold-faced lie to me. Boxing has gotten way too comfortable with just bold-faced lying to the fans because y'all have been accepting it for so long, co-signing it, paying for it, paying these dudes to lie to you, and then going to war on social media on stuff. When people point out the truth, you throwing a fit. Call them haters. Like, bro, what is going on? What is going on? Like, what is going on? Like, it'd be too much for me. I can't handle it. I can't handle it because it's senseless. You know what I mean? It's senseless to me. It's asinine. It's a complete and utter waste of my brain cell. So it's hard. It's hard for me. So that's the explanation why you don't be seeing me doing the content like that. Like I want to because I love boxing. I love talking about it. But it's just, man, it be getting under your skin. While I speak for myself, get under my skin. But yeah, man, I just want to come here and talk, man, pop my this for a second, pat myself on the back, and yet another topic that your boy was over half a year ahead of the curve on, like, and really longer than that because my wife can vouch for it. I was floating the idea around for months before that. I seen it early. I was like, man, and I didn't want it to be like that because I really rock with Tank. I think he's a phenomenal fighter. And I didn't want that. I rock with Bud. I think he's a phenomenal fighter. I was a Bud fan before I knew who Earl was. But when I see the moves and I see what's coming up, it's hard. And like I was floating around for a minute, and I just didn't want to say anything. My wife could vouch for it. And then finally, it was for me at that point. It was too much to ignore for me 7 months ago, and people is finally starting to see it. So what I'm gonna start doing is putting this stuff on wax. When I see something, I'm just gonna do short little episodes. I may not go live all the time. Some of them might be pre-records, but I'm just gonna start putting out my thoughts out there, and then just doing these called it videos. That's what I'm gonna start doing. I'm gonna just talk. I'm gonna just stop trying to be nice and cool because boxing ain't that. It ain't that. I'm gonna just start telling y'all what I see, what I feel, and then a few months later, when it comes to fruition, I'm gonna put the response video up there and say called it, and I'm just mind my own business, use my own topics. I ain't talking about going at nobody, no person in particular. I'm just talking about boxing situations, and I'm gonna put up my response to my own self, called it, and I'm gonna just do that because it's getting ridiculous at this point, and I'm so irritated by it that I just stay away from it and I don't put out the content, and that's a mistake. That's been a mistake because the amount of things I've called ahead of time is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. This is absolutely ridiculous. So I'm about to start putting these joints on wax. Call it. That's it. I'm gonna just limit myself to that way. I ain't, what I'm saying, risking my health and fighting my blood pressure, dealing with these weirdos and all that goofiness, man. You know what I mean? I'm just keep it, keep it quick, in and out, like a bank robbery, like Boo said. But yeah, man, that's it, man. Appreciate anybody that comes to watch this on the playback and all that. I don't know. I don't know when the next topic's gonna be because I'm gonna just let it happen organically. As it comes to me, I'll put it out. Appreciate y'all, man. Much love. Y'all take it easy.